Hey there guys, Damon Owens here, and today I want to talk about making 2023 the year that you meet someone. Obviously, I cannot guarantee that you'll meet someone this year. Not even Hitch could do that. But I can share 5 things that I can guarantee will make you the man or the woman open, ready, and prepared to show up as the best version of yourself for everyone that you're going to meet. And I got to tell you, how you and I show up in relationships is actually the one thing that you can control consistently in relationships. Even in marriage, sacramental marriage, I can attest to that. You can't control circumstances, past histories, the weather, and you certainly can't control your partner. As my daughter would say, facts, right? So how can you prepare yourself now to show up as the best version of yourself? Number 1, take responsibility for your own needs. What do you need? What do you desire in your heart? What do you enjoy? See, it's the mature adult thing to recognize that we're in charge of our own emotions. We're in charge of our own dreams, our own desires. And it helps avoid looking at our partner or our other to fix us or to make things right. And it also helps us avoid playing the blame game, thinking that our partner's at fault for the way that we're feeling or that they did things for reasons that are really only in our own heads. It's our expectations, that our beliefs and our expectations about a person or an event or a situation directly influences why we argue. We think they must mean this. So what does it mean to be responsible for our own needs? What does that look like? Well, it's about taking ownership of our emotions in a conflict situation. It's about controlling that negative emotion and not taking them out on your partner in an unhealthy or an unkind way. There's a whole series we'll talk about in terms of conflict and the good that is, that's really the natural element of relationship. But how we show up and taking responsibility for ours, let's call it staying on your own page. Now, if you think that sounds selfish, it doesn't. Turns out because we can't control other people and other things, what we can do is to be confirmed and to be definitive about the things that are within our responsibility. And we show up in that sense, and it gives us a certain freedom that, that realizing that you're not in charge or dealing with somebody else's baggage, right? Or past relationships or their childhood or whatever. This other person is a unique, unrepeatable person. And as we encounter them, we need to have this certain openness, this certain presence to them, not a controlling, either direct or passive aggressive kind of way. So taking responsibility for ourselves and for our own needs, our desires, our wants also allows us to approach and allows us to speak in a way that clearly communicates what's important to us without necessarily changing them, without convincing them, without trying to win for certainly any kind of argument, but just responsible. I feel this way. Why do I feel this way? I can choose how I act. You can start doing that now, even before you have a particular person that you met. Number 2, let's get this compatibility thing in its place, right? Compatibility matters, especially here on CatholicMatch. We use these criteria to help you sort of narrow down and find people that you have connection with or could have. And it is a huge part of selecting your partner. But compatibility is not everything. Action matters most. What do we do? And again, while it's important to pick or to find someone that you're compatible with, whatever that means, certain likes, things that you enjoy, situations, our faith in particular is a huge connection, right? Belief and relationship with Jesus Christ. But there's so much more to it than that. Happy relationships can be had between people who are not necessarily compatible, right? I mean, men and women are relational, but certainly not compatible in the sense of sameness. We're compatible because we have these complementary realities. And even if you don't have these compatibilities on paper or on your check boxes or in your profiles, right, here in CatholicMatch, you can make tremendous effort every day to understand another person, to communicate clearly back to your needs, your wants, your desires, curiosity about the other person. And you can strive through your actions to meet other people's needs. So that's what I'm saying. So effort is the most vital principle in making a relationship work. It's not necessarily a percentage of compatibilities. But that's not to say it's not important. Don't misunderstand. It's to say that compatibility is not everything. It's not a passive, we are meant for each other. It's not a passive, you are my soulmate, so therefore everything is going to work out. No. Action has a lot of agency, as we say in philosophy and in theology. You have agency to choose the good, even when you may not feel it or be passionately driven toward. Now, of course, there is something to be said about relationships that are going to be easier. When you find someone from the beginning that you're compatible with in all these particular areas. And it goes far beyond, sharing interests and opinions, but it starts there. It's, again, sharing these values and the points that most matter in the relationship, and particularly our faith. So that's number 2. Number 3, practice what we call cake. This is Jake Kim and his beautiful wife, Heather Kim, part of our marriage work. They gave us this great acronym, and it works so well in any relationship, but it really is about building closeness and intimacy. Practice CAKE, C-A-K-E. The C stands for curiosity. Keeping this posture of curiosity before this other. And you can do this with anyone. You can do this picking up your coffee in the morning. You can do it with somebody you pass on the street. A curiosity, it just exudes from you when you choose to be curious about this unique, unrepeatable person that's in front of you. And you're just interested, not to change them, not to convince them, not to put them in a tribe or see if they're on our side with beliefs or whatever. But it really is just curious, like just an attentiveness to the other. The A stands for appreciation. Carry with it a certain intentional appreciation for the other person. And again, appreciating them for who they are first as a son or daughter of God the Father. And your curiosity sort of feeds this appreciation. Wow, look what the Lord done. But sometimes we have to be intentional. We have to willfully carry this appreciation. Carry that, build that skill. And doing that in the small matters makes you prepared. It makes it easy when you're in that first date, when you're in that the time of getting to know each other, as you go in different levels of intimacy. Being an appreciative person really goes a long way in drawing people into you. So the K of cake, C-A-K, is kindness. And this is not niceness, just keeping everything kind of go. Kindness is really looking to will the good of the other. It's an act of love. It's being attentive and respectful to the other. And these are things that are habits more than just ideas. Right? The curiosity, you can build a habit of curiosity with questions open-ended, appreciation by gratitude and thanking people for being who they are, what they've done, the small things. And kindness is the same way. That kindness shows itself uniquely in you, but it always expresses this otherness, that they're important, that they're worthy of respect. So kindness. And the E, this might be the toughest one. Eye contact. Practice eye contact. And again, this is not just for the extroverts. It's not just a burden for the introverts. It really is a mode, a human mode of communication that builds intimacy. And being able to hold eye contact, not in a weird way. And you'll find out as you do this, don't be creepy. But also at the same time, it's almost an invitation with your eyes to say that I see you and I'm here. And I'm not barging in the door of your soul, but at the same time, I'm not treating you as a category or as another. So cake is very powerful. Begin that now. Curiosity, appreciation, kindness, and eye contact. And this is true whether you're in a 1-year relationship or whether you're in a 20-year relationship. It's one of those deep skills and gifts that you'll find actually treats you very well, more than even the goodness that it conveys to other people. Number 4, make gratitude your thing. Make it your thing. And this takes practice, right? And gratitude is about finding ways of expressing that appreciation I talked about in cake. But a gratitude is the thank yous that are more than just sort of the perfunctory ones we give to our kids, They say thank you, say thank you. That begins there because we're trying to build a habit within them. But the gratitude really is about being attentive to things that are really a gift. And the gift is particularly if someone else gives to you. And the habit of making it your thing means that you're always looking for ways to genuinely and specifically thank other people, be gracious, to acknowledge the good that they do. And people it's like oxygen to the soul when people are attentive. And the more specific you are with it, the more power that it's more than thanks, thank you, I'm grateful that you did that. different levels. I'm really, really grateful that you showed up the way that you did, because it really made me feel good. It made me feel important. You didn't have to do that, and I know you did it, and I want to thank you. See the specifics of that, all right? So work to make gratitude your thing so that it just shows up and flows out of you when you meet that beautiful other. Next is ora et labora. Have you heard that phrase? Ora et labora. Pray and work. All the things that we do here are wrapped in prayer as if everything depends on God, because it does, and work as if everything depends on us. And the truth is that it's the nature. I talked about this earlier in another presentation. What we do, our acts, the things that I've talked about earlier, this work that we're becoming who we are, is not a work in and of itself. It's the nature of who we are and the bounds of the natural world. But prayer taps us into the supernatural. It asks to God himself and say, Lord, show me who I am. Lord, help me see in a way I can't see on my own. So the prayer and work is this beautiful totality, this wholeness that allows us to approach every situation in the most human way, that we're spiritual and spiritual soul and a material body, and that we work, but we're not in control. And we're here about a mission that God himself has given us. So these things, these 5 things, will serve you well as a woman, as a man, becoming a husband, a wife, becoming a mother and a father, all these levels of formation. And these are the ways that God wants us to move toward this path to holiness. And that's all for now. Remember, Catholic Match is here to help you to be more successful in your search to find your forever love. Drop us comments below for topics that you want me to cover in future episodes, and be sure to smash that button. That's what they say now. Like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to be alerted of new videos. Peace and joy to you. God bless you.